Welcome back to Sports Final Edition. I love when I have a guest in studio. And we have a first-timer, Kory Woods, the Pistons beat writer for MLive. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
And you look great.
Oh, I'm just trying to make sure I, look the part.
That's right. You look great. You look great. All right, so obviously I want to talk about the Pistons. That was rough. 17-65. How'd you do it?
Well, it was definitely rough, but the thing you have to see with the Pistons is that they're growing. They have a really young team. General Manager Troy Weaver, he's just starting from the ground up. And while it was tough to watch, you can see that they're building something. You can see that they're trending in the right direction just with the way that he has constructed the roster through trades, free agency, and, of course, the draft. So they're trending upward.
All right. From your lips. So they have their core, Ivy, Caden, Duran.
Yes.
Where does he go next? Because he's flipped everything around, and now he has the core. Now what?
Well, I think right now they're going to have to build around that core. And first thing, it starts with the draft.
Right.
They have a top 5 pick. We're going to see when the upcoming lottery happens where they're going to pick at. So we're going to see whether they're going to, if they get number 1, obviously, Victor Wembanyama is one of the,
tank for Wembanyama, right?
The tankathon for Wemby has been the thing. But if they don't get him, they're going to probably pick somewhere between 2 and 5 and maybe be able to add a wing defender to that core. Then you also have the free agency. They have significant cap. I think they're going to have roughly around 27, 28 million, give or take, to be able to add to this roster. So right now, I think they're just going to be building towards the future around that core. They definitely need a wing defender, and they definitely need a young scoring point guard, because that is one thing that has been hindering the Pistons over the past couple of years. They have not been able to have a point guard that can provide spacing for that offense.
All right, well, he also has to find a coach.
Yes.
So what direction do you think he's going, and sort of where's the priority? Get the coach right away, so they know what's going on?
Well, during the end-of-season interviews, Weaver said that there was not any timetable for getting a coach, but obviously you would think they want to have a coach in place by the time the draft lottery happens.
Right.
The reports are out there. They're going to interview Kevin Ollie, the ex-UConn men's basketball coach, led UConn to the 2014 NCAA championship. And there's also reports that they're going to look into hiring maybe Charles Lee, the Milwaukee Bucks assistant, Adrian Griffin, Toronto Raptors assistant, and Chris Quinn, Miami Heat assistant, is also on that list. I have no idea where they're going to go with this, because they have a long list of candidates.
Yeah.
But I think Weaver's going to do his due diligence, and I would honestly say a guy that they have not mentioned yet that I would keep your eye on will be Brian Keefe. He's the Brooklyn Nets assistant. He worked with Weaver back during their days for the Oklahoma City Thunder, and Keefe has been credited with working with Brandon Ingram, with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant said that Keefe is one of the guys that's responsible for how he approaches games, shoot-arounds, and workouts. So, I mean, with him having the familiarity, with Weaver and the people that he's coached, he's a guy that does check a lot of boxes. But they have not reported him as a candidate, but that is somebody I would keep an eye on.
Oh, I like it. You're giving us names. You came here with your tie and names. I like it. Kory, you're not leaving yet because the NBA playoffs are going on right now. I have lots of questions for you.
Okay.
You want to stick around?
Sure.
All right, stick around, and you stick with us on SFB. He'll be back. Welcome back to Sports Final Edition. I want to talk about the NBA playoffs. I did tease it, little TV term, but I missed a question with the Pistons, and I want to ask you.
Okay.
The Thunder had the second pick last year. They made it all the way to the play-in tournament, that sort of worst to first sort of thing. Can the Pistons do it, and quickly?
Absolutely, I think they can. They won 17 games with Cade Cunningham down the lineup. I think you add him back into the equation with their unit, they should be able to trend towards that play-in.
All right. Well, let's talk about the NBA now. So what about Jokic? Does he have to win in the playoffs to validate himself as elite?
I think he has to win in the playoffs to validate himself as one of those great echelon players. But to validate himself as elite, I mean, the fact that he's won back-to-back MVPs and he's in the conversation for winning a third one, I think that validates him as elite as it is already. Look at the numbers. The man averaged around a triple-double for the whole season. So how can he have those numbers? How can he do the production that he has had with the Nuggets and you not view him as elite?
Because it's the age-old question, sort of wins or sort of personal, Anyway, can Phoenix win it all as a team when they've had very little time to gel?
Absolutely, because they have one person on their roster by the name of Kevin Durant.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
He makes all of that work. When you have Kevin Durant, when you have Devin Booker, when you have Chris Paul, that is enough to win. And the great thing about Kevin Durant is that he does not need the ball in his hands to be effective. That is Chris Paul's job. So as long as those guys are able just to stay healthy, I think they have a great shot to go ahead and make it off the West.
What about Boston? They were one win away last year, new coach.
I think Boston has shown that they can keep it together. Through all the turbulence that they had throughout the season, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum have kept it going. And Mr. Mazzulla, he's done a fantastic job coaching the team, and they can definitely go ahead and get out of it. But the thing that I am worried about with them is running into the Milwaukee Bucks.
Well, that was one of my questions. Are we underestimating the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis? I
think so, because when Milwaukee is healthy, when they have Chris Middleton, when they have Drew Holiday, when they have Giannis healthy, when they have that cohesive unit ready, they're tough to beat. Giannis is one of the greatest players who have played in the NBA, and as long as they keep that unit together, they're going to be able to go.
Seems like more wide open this year.
Yeah.
Like anyone can win it, which I think makes it fun.
It definitely is a lot of parity this year. It's a couple of years ago when, the Warriors had Kevin Durant, you can just kind of say, okay,
here we go.
Yeah. They're going to go ahead and they want, what do they do? 3 straight finals, made 3 straight finals, 1 back-to-back. This year, with everybody so spread out across the league, it's kind of like, all right, any given game, somebody can go ahead and, play spoiler. But yes, the Milwaukee Bucks are definitely being underrated.
Well, okay, so at 6 o'clock, Pam asked me who I think is going to win it all, and I think I said Phoenix or Milwaukee. I'm putting you on the spot.
Oh, who I think is going to win? People are going to hate when I say this, but I think that as long as they stay healthy, Golden State Warriors are going to go back-to-back.
Whoa.
When that unit is healthy, when that trio of Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green are healthy and are in the lineup, they have not lost.
Kory, well, there's your prediction. You came dressed. You got your prediction. You are great. Can you come back?
Yes, I can.
All right, sounds good. Kory Woods, thank you. Pistons beat writer for MLive. Look him up on Twitter. Find his articles. He's great. Stick with us on SFE.